Well, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining me in my shop. I'm going to get started on this very nice looking Stromberg-Carlson 2-band radio. A lovely corner speaker arrangement, lovely woodwork in here, and the cabinet's in really pretty good shape. I see this trim piece, they've shrunk and the cracks have developed all along it. But that's okay. There's no pieces missing. There's no serious gouges. Corners aren't smashed. It's actually in pretty good shape. So take a look at the front of it. It's got 4 identical knobs. Somehow I don't think those are the original knobs. They're sticking out a long ways. Could be. That's sticking out a long ways, isn't it? Oh my gosh, this isn't bolted down. I've been carrying this around, it's not bolted down. Huh. That's the only thing that's kept it in, are these knobs. Otherwise it would have shot out the back of this radio, I'm sure. It says volume, tone, ranges, stations. That must be the tuning thing. Where? Oh no, not another one with a missing pointer. There's no pointer in there. Oh no. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's inside. Sometimes the pointer is left inside the radio. You can find it. Maybe somebody kindly did that. Oh, there's a bag. Okay, so those are the screws that are supposed to be holding it in. Here they are. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? What's this doing here? Well, sure looks like, I just don't think this is the way this was originally done. Well, maybe it is. Yeah, I think that's a replacement speaker in there. Made in Canada, it says on the speaker. Nice little antenna wire. I'm going to disconnect this just because it's going to be in the way. F-E-E-E. So A there for antenna and a G for ground. Tubes are really clean. They're clean. Everything is clean. Somebody's cleaned this guy up. Got a huge transformer. Is it a 25 cycle? 105 volts to 125 volts. Cycles 25 or 60. Yeah, so this is gigantic. It's built to handle 25 cycle. If you can do 25, you can do 60. It would be smaller at 60, I think. 5Y4 rectifier tube. 3-part capacitor. 2-part tuning capacitor up in the front there. There's a phono thing and somebody's plugged this in. This is bad. This is not good. So you don't see too many of these days. This looks kind of corny, doesn't it? Yeah, oops. Why has it got this huge tail on it? I mean, most phono plugs, sure, I don't have to grab one. We've all seen them. Are much shorter. Why so long? Because this actually functions as a switch. And when you push this in, this long rod pushes open a switch in behind here. So if you leave this pushed in like that, although it doesn't feel quite right, yeah, this would cut off the radio. If this is working properly, having this in, you won't hear the radio. Oh my gosh. What other little surprises have you got? So we'll look at the power cord here. Pretty sure this is the original power cord or a very, very proper replacement. It's probably it could be a repair tag on this. No words on it. Cord is very flexible. The end is done correctly. There's no little bits of wire sticking out. No cap. Cord is good. We might as well take this radio out because I don't even have to take any screws off, but I'm going to have to deal with this and this. And these wires, they look terrible. This looks terrible. So these are just soldered up here, so they could all be replaced with better flexible wire because the insulation's breaking on these. They've been attached with car connectors. It gives you a hint as to who's been working on this. This is a shrink sleeve though. Here. If you pull this out and operate the radio will only the very, very first part of the power supply will operate. You see a little jumper right here, which is probably conveying the B plus further in the radio. And it's got a plug here. It looks broken to me. It says phono only. Chances are that's 120 volts sitting right on those things there. Yikes. There's no reason to keep it. Yes, there is a reason to keep it in there. So what I'm going to do for ease, I'm just going to pull this plug out. We'll leave all the speaker and that behind for now. A lot of these radios depend upon the field coil in the speaker to form an integral part of the power supply filter. There's no field coil in that speaker, so there's a chance this has been altered to operate with a permanent magnet speaker. There we go, instead of a field coil. So there could be some power supply funny business, and that means somebody must have worked on this radio, or the radio's a real mess. In fact, I don't think it's a real mess. There we go. Grabbed by the 80% of the weight is right here. Make it 90%. 90% of the weight right there. Don't you come? I see a string. There's a string on here. Or is that a piece of thread? A spring on it. Okay. I'm going to put the cabinet out here. There's a metal bottom. Metal sheet bottom. Sheet metal. Sheet metal bottom. It's not on there on the radio. Okay. Taking a look at the top. What little hints and things can we find out here? Dust free. It's just dust free. A little bit of dust up there. So these two cans are up on insulators. You can see them here. Sure look like they're bolted back down to the chassis. What's going on with those cans? The coil here. So the coil is wiggly. It's probably been bashed. Looks like there's a screw holder that's loose underneath. That's kind of odd. Look at the capacitor. The plates are not bent on it. No one's attempted that. It's got two lights. Dual headlights. Now, what was wrong with the pointer? I see the top of it here. Well, first, the string is not connected to this, and secondly, there's not much left of it. That's the pointer. Well, you know what? Just having this sliding piece here is really important. I can build the rest of it off this, but having this nice sliding piece is good. So, not to cry too hard about the pointer. But it would suggest this radio is probably, let's see, it's working good. Everything's going the right way. Okay, let's look underneath. I'll flip it up this way. Piece of wood here. Good. Up you go. Now, I've been working on quite a number of 5-tube radios for the last while. All of them have a, oh, surprise! All of them have hot chassis issues. This radio is different. Okay, so first of all, I see what's probably an output transformer here. I'm not sure, or a choke. Maybe this is a choke in the power supply. The original, this is all original. It's all original under here. Is it all original? I'm just looking very carefully to try to spot anything odd that looks like this is a little bit odd. NPOF 325. It says picofarad, plus or minus 7 picofarad. That's a curious thing. Lots of parts in this radio. A number of fairly physically large resistors. Here's one that's a high wattage. It looks like it's overheated. This one looks high wattage. It looks okay. Well, at a glance, there's nothing leaping out that says don't turn this radio on, other than the yeah, I think we can turn this radio on. See what it does like this. Might as well stick one on the tuning knob too. Tuning shaft. Let's start it up. Looking normal. Oh, easy to break that. I didn't check to see why that was loose. Why are you loose? Loose because this tightening nut there, screw thing is loose. Hey, let's fix that right away. If we can. It's kind of an awkward thing to do. That's a tuning slug. How's this supposed to work? A tuning slug and that's tight now. Okay, there we are. She's fixed. Fixed and ready to go, sir. That'll be $621. Plus tip. Switch is off. Hey, come down. Come down to this elevation. Switch is off to start. Dim bulbs. We'll go for just one bulb. One bulb. Okay, it should not come on. It has not come on. 100 volts. 124.2 volts today. And now for the dramatic moment. There's no speaker in it, Jeff. The moment can't be that dramatic just yet. I almost fooled myself there. Power off. You gotta deal with the speaker deal. Gotta deal with the speaker deal. What should we do with that? It's a big cabinet. What should we do here? For the sake of testing, I should plug this in and just leave this up on my bench. Probably going to replace all these wires here anyway. These aren't too bad. Okay, let's plug them in. Too fat. I can't see. It's probably in like this. There. Okay, that's not so bad. Just gonna shove it all over. Okay, we're ready to try now. No fooling. Switch is off. Dim power is on. Okay, just see the light here. See the light. 123.9 now. Ready for a loud hum or anything. Who knows what could happen. Lights on. Dim bulb came on. The set's trying to operate with 80, almost 90 volts now. Now. That's just about enough to make one of these guys work. Let's turn them up a bit. Oh, what did I see there? Did I see a flash inside it too? What did I see there? I don't know what I saw. Oh, you know what I saw? I saw a reflection on the glass too. I hear the hum. It's not horrendous. Don't hear the radio. Hum, but no sound from the radio. This is the band switch, isn't it? I heard the pop. Oh. Did it just... No, it didn't just warm up. Maybe I didn't turn it up loud enough before? That's full. Which band's which? This way. Wait, where's the cabinet? Here's the cabinet. Which way's which? Shortwave to the left, broadcast to the right. So, broadcast. We're on the broadcast band. Oh. Okay, now we have zero antenna on here. So I'm going to help it out big time. I'm going to give it a real nice, friendly, warm antenna here. Should make the radio very happy. Antenna and ground. I put the ground on, she went silent. Radio, we're just above the French station. I recognize that noise.
Tête de ski, je pense qu'on vous l'a dit souvent, vous avez une voix qui est très unique et très caractérisée aussi à la fois. Impossible de ne pas entendre Dylan, de ne pas entendre Cohen, de ne pas entendre toutes ces voix-là également aussi dans la vôtre, mais ou même dans votre son en fait en général. Mais là, dans cet album-là, vous êtes allé une petite coche de plus dans la modernité. Vous avez
for now. Everybody. Anyways, well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Lovely. Lovely. Now you know what? I'll bet you shortwave's working. Now we have an antenna on it. Here a little bit. Just for a moment there. Pretty quiet on the shortwave band. Oh. How do you like that?
May take your seat there. Here's your water.
That's full volume. Well, okay. That's great. That's enough for now. Hum, no problem. Reception means everything's working. It means the tubes are working. It means everything is working. Everything is here. Nothing is missing. And there's nothing frightening going on in this radio. It should be fairly easy to tune this baby right up. And that's my intention, is to get this guy's performance right up. While I was tuning the radio, I noticed something I hadn't noticed earlier about the string arrangement here, which I want to take a little bit of a closer look at now. So there's two strings here. There's one on the large bobbin. The large bobbin is operating the pointer. But then there's a small bobbin in behind. At least there's a string on it. Is there really supposed to be a string there? Yeah, there's a string bobbin in behind. And this string is the one that's driving the capacitor. So those strings are not locked into this, I'm pretty sure, in any way. Which means they have the potential for slipping. This is very oddly constructed. It's got what's it got going in there? Hard to see, but there's actually, and the flat part, there's a hole there. Looks like there's two pins here. It looks like there's string shoved in them. What is going on? Two holes. What is happening here? It's supposed to be like a rubber bumper grip. Let's get a close look at that, because it's pretty mysterious looking. Oh. There. What are those? These things. One in the middle. The only thing I can guess is that those were once pieces of rubber that actually went across, and the string was, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Is there something similar on the back part of it? I don't think so. Oh yeah, there's a hole right there. Well, I don't know what it means, if it means anything. Maybe it means nothing. I don't know. So there's a spring up there. And I already noticed on the back side here, there's a pulley there. It's got no string on it at all. It's probably supposed to be lifting this string up. Probably supposed to be like that, just like that. Let me just check now. Does the string travel really work out? So we'll go all the way one way. Okay, I'll pretend I'm the pointer. I'm going to grab the string. Let it pull my hand back here. Well, I made it all the way right to the pulley here. Hold on, let me grab the pulley. I mean, how wrong can this be, really? stop right here. From here to here. A little on the wide side, but I don't see how it could be that wrong. Main thing is it's there. Okay. And both strings look replaced. Why would somebody restring this thing and then never get a pointer on it? Okay, what's the repair plan for this guy? We'll leave the speaker as is. It's working right now. We'll deal with the power supply and get rid of the hum first. And I think the next thing we want to do is probably play the radio again and then start the selective capacitor process here. Slowly work the radio's performance up. Well, it's not performing absolutely terribly even now. Come on out of there. There we go. Just pulling the speaker to the back. Okay, so if we're going to do the filter capacitors, just take a peek again. So the capacitor's right here, right up in here. Ooh, nicely accessible. Nicely accessible. Right in between these coils, which you would never want to damage. You see how these two coils are this way, and then this one over here is that way. Probably, just wild guess, antenna coils switched. This one or that one, never both, so they can't, there's no interaction between them. Oscillator coil stuck at a different angle to limit the electromagnetic interaction between them. What is this guy here? And what about those apparently insulated cans? So it looked to me like there was an insulating plate there. I see. I'll stick my finger right in there. I think it's the same material I've seen in one other radio I'd never seen before. It looks like metal, but it's completely non-conductive. And this is what this looks like. It scratches like metal, but I can see all the terminals are riveted onto it. This is some kind of magic material here. It must be the same. It's the same stuff here. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So it's definitely not conductive. So here's the nut supporting the can right onto the chassis. There's a black washer under there, but I can't imagine that's providing insulation. So I think it's bogus. I think this material here is not insulating the can. Where's the negative go out of the big capacitor? So this is a 16. So this is separate from the big one up on the top. This is probably, I don't know what it is. It's hooked up to the speaker plug. It's part of the power supply, I think. Big capacitor here though. Positive terminal here, negative terminal tied to the volume control. This is probably the, well, it better be the grounded side of this my voltmeter here. Here it is. So I'm just doing some preliminary things here to get familiar with the radio. The more time you spend with it, just literally, the more time you spend with it, the more familiar you get. So I need excuses to spend time looking at it. Volume control. 0, right to ground. So that's the grounded terminal. The signal terminal is going to be up in behind here. There's the signal leaving on the slider through that capacitor to this terminal on the tone control. The tone control terminal is tied together and the capacitor back to ground. The treble cut capacitor there. So the audio is coming out. At this point it's finding a shielded cable, which, oh my god, this shield comes up within just a fraction of this terminal. And then the shield runs along here, soldered to the chassis, up onto that tube, which is almost certainly the what tube? The output of the detector tube and its output coming this way, in fact. That means I can get the high side of the, no, this is signal going on. Signal coming here is way in the back here. Okay, another shielded cable, this shielded cable here. Shielded cable winds its way over to here. Shield comes very close to the connection again. Picks up a terminal on this IF transformer. So the other side, other side of this coil, whatever it is in here, is going to the detector plates. So the audio coming out here. Wow, the shield comes up really close again. So I discovered in a radio a little while ago where this radio has shielded wires. That radio did not have any shielding on its lead wires, and there was a buzz inherent in the radio. I couldn't get rid of it. And I wondered if it was because they didn't bother using shielded wire on the leads going to and from the volume control. The answer, I think, is yes. So this is the phono input here. There is no switch. There is no switch on this one. So when you so the switch would be on the front. There's no switch on the front for phono. It's one of those lousy arrangements. See a couple other things. So this is the way this coil is supported. Same thing with this, what looks like a tuning slug here through this. But well, we'll find out in the long run. I doubt this is a tuning slug, because as soon as you tune this, you're going to just loosen off the. I think it's just the way to fix it. Same thing up here. This one's kind of loose too. Somebody's turned these, maybe thinking they're tuning. Maybe they are tuning. Here. What happened here? Why is this one so different? This looks like something else done here. You see, these aren't slotted. These are tuning. These are for tuning. For sure. 1, 2, 3. But what about this one? Okay, well, we'll sort that out as we go. Sort it out as we go. What about tuning on the capacitor screws? Yeah, there's screws in there. So I'm looking here and here. You see there are capacitors there. Waiting. You see a big and small. Small is probably oscillator. Now there are more hidden trimmers. So you're going to work on this radio. Well, you can get at this and this from outside. Is there anything under here? So there's no hole in the IF cans. It must be capacitor tuned. Yep. 2 holes, capacitor tuned. I don't know what the third hole is. That's some kind of an emergency escape or something. Is there something way down there? I don't think so. Anything else up here? How about a hidden trimmer on the back of the capacitor here? one of the other radios I was doing had one in here. No, just as you would expect. No. Okay, that's for that. That's that part of the deal. Let's get the schematic. Yeah, run through that and call it a video at that point. Okay, I managed to find the schematic here. Let's take a look at it. So what we'll do is we'll just shoot through the manual very quickly. Normal voltage readings, at least 1000 ohms per voltmeter. Tuning eye. Wait a minute, there's no tuning eye in this radio. Tuning eye on some receiver. Now, mine is the 552, not the 662. 55. Normal voltage readings, 552. Very good. Here's the tube lineup, SA7. Okay, SK, SQ. SA7s can be a little finicky. Different voltages, great. Okay, let's rotate here. Stromberg-Carlson. Alignment and chassis layout. Never align unless absolutely necessary. Always turn receiver control full on. Always use the smallest possible input to make the signal adjustments accurate. Dial pointer adjustment, good. That's good because I have to put a dial pointer onto it. Intermediate adjustments, lots of words used here. Lots and lots of words here. Thank you, engineer. Yeah, here it is. Phonomotor AC supply sticking out the back there. There's 120 volt terminals right there. I can easily put my fingers on them. Like just say moving the chassis around on the bench. It's very, very dangerous, this thing here. Really dangerous. Tube layout. And there they are. There's these adjustments, which I said had come loose. In fact, these are actual adjustments. 1, 2, and the one out the front here. This radio can't be aligned out. Yes, it can. Yeah. Of course, the dial comes with it when you pull the radio out. Okay, that's the end of the road here. There's no more info. Okay, we'll study the schematic a little bit here. So we have a rather complicated network here on the antenna. BC antenna coil. And this is a 31 meter coil. So this is quite a complicated little guy here. Look at this thing. Wow. We got the tuning capacitor, its trimmer, 0.02 to ground. This little one against the coil here. I think we saw that right on top. Mounted right on this thing. So this is no doubt tuned up for broadcast band. This is tuned up for shortwave. Here's a switch here. Applying a ground. Yikes. Lots of complicated stuff in here. Radio engineer doing his best on everything. Mixer tube, 2 pilot lights. There's that killer outlet thing again. Grounding to the chassis all over the place. Everything going to the chassis in this radio. They're showing an additional speaker here. So this has got to be the. No, this is the magic eye if it exists. And it doesn't. The bypass cathode resistor here. Tone control that we saw. Shielded wires involved. Shielded. Volume control. This is showing a switch here. Switch it over to phono. Well, I'm not sure what's going on here. I didn't see a switch. Okay. Top back the ADC coming through here, 1 meg resistor. So what they've done here is they have the radio. What have they done? They have the radio output, the IF output, going to 1 diode plate. The output going to one diode. And the audio down through here. Pi filter, clearing out the RF at this point. And then right off the volume control we go back here. What's this? Which also goes out to the Magic Eye. It's like a separate AVC. Wait a minute, well, what's getting rectified here? So I'm not quite sure what they're doing here. It looks like almost like they're re-rectifying it another time or something. I don't understand. Don't quite get it. Okay, but ignoring this part back here, ABC voltage, high impedance on this side. It's fed to this tube. Oops, where we are to the grid, and then it's going to also be fed to this guy here. Coming here, through isolation, up through this coil. Okay, so in broadcast mode, that then finds its way to the 3rd grid. Wow. If you flip the switch down, then it still finds its way. ADC voltage still finds its way. Okay. Is there anything else for now? Power supply. Let's study this. Field coil. Okay. Have a transformer with high voltage, power the heaters, and 5 for this guy. 5 volts for this guy. Now this is that little jumper I pointed to on the speaker plug. You can see when you pull the speaker out, this thing cuts the power right off. It's just not even getting to the first capacitor. So I'm going to guess the original speaker went south, and in went this permanent magnet one. And now what did they do with this situation here? Now there's a transformer out at the speaker, and there's another transformer or choke coil in the back of the radio. So again, just shoot out to the speaker. So they're not showing the field coil. Here it is. So they're showing the field coil here. The rest of the speaker up here. I've got the output transformer. Any other inductor in here? I don't think so. I'll take another look in the back of that radio and find out if someone has replaced the field coil with a choke coil. Because I don't see anything in here that would look like that necessarily. Okay, well, we know where the schematic is now if we need it. It's here. Okay, let's look at that choke situation. What is going on? Again, far-fetched to think somebody could work a choke into an existing radio. I would find space for that. You know, that's far-fetched. That has to have been in there all along. And what is it exactly? It's got a part number on it. Maybe there's a part number list. Is there a part? Was there a parts list in that? So I'm looking for is how many wires come out of this guy here. Okay, so I can see wires. I mean, I can see the two. There's two terminals right here. Bingo. I can see those right away. And then there's, pretty sure I can see a wire coming out the bottom on the other side. And it would have to be two. There's another one there. So is it red and the black? Where are they going? They're going. So I think this is the red one. This is the red one, and that's the black one. And we're going to this tube. And what is this tube? Output tube. Great big monster output tube. This is the output transformer. Let's look at that other coil. You know what? Like there's only two wires on this. So this is the choke. So this is the field coil now. So he did put a choke in. He just put it here, mounted it onto the cabinet. Okay, somebody knew a little something about how to do these things. Now the radio's humming. Is it because this didn't work out? Not likely. I think we can be really pretty sure that the hum is from a lack of capacitance in the filter. Okay, well I think that answers pretty much all the mysteries about this radio. I think I know what needs to be done. I think the first thing I would do is deal with the either this guy, which I don't think can be responsible for hum, because I believe this is the capacitor that's I'll take that back. Wait a minute, no, I'll put it in again. Yeah, I think this is probably, I don't know what this is yet. But it's a big honkin' electrolytic. Now, this electrolytic's in a metal can. My experience with these is really good. These guys tend to hold on for a long time. It's a 40-40-25. But you really got to guess. It's from. So what I could do as an experiment is just parallel in some extra capacitance up here temporarily, and see if that knocks the hum out. That might be worth doing just before I go ahead and start monkeying around with this, because it's a simple idea to replace the filter capacitors in a radio, but actually it's a difficult job because of the lack of terminals and things like that. So don't want to jump right in there and get at it. And for all I know, the hum is from something else anyway at this point. It could just be something else. So we could also turn the radio on, look at the hum level right in the power supply. Paralleling in more capacitance is the way to go. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it quits here at this point today. Tomorrow we'll start actually doing the work on the radio. And great. I'm really looking forward to this radio. It's going to be a nice radio. I own this radio. And I'm happy to have it. I love these kinds of radios.